So for this exercise, we are going to combine the two sentences in each pair to make a new complex sentence. So if we haven't talked about a complex sentence, essentially it has one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. All right, so one independent clause is called a simple sentence. But if you have a dependent clause added to it, it would be a complex sentence. All right, so we're going to make a complex sentence containing an adjective clause in the subject pattern, meaning we're using subjective case. So what relative pronouns can be used in subjective case? Who for people, which or that for things and animals. And as a quick reminder, which is always non-restrictive or non-essential with commas, and that is always restrictive or essential without commas. Okay, so we have to combine the two sentences, and this is very important. Place the adjective clause as close to its antecedent. So antecedent is the noun that the adjective clause modifies. We need to place it as close to it as possible. Usually it's directly after, because if you place it really far away, it becomes a problem. And that problem is called misplaced modifier. And of course, step 3, we have to add commas if necessary. So if we take a look at number 1, John Fish explained the complex structure of DNA. He is a research chemist. How do you know which sentence to change into an adjective clause? Remember one important rule. Your main idea has to be your independent clause. So your minor idea has to be either your dependent clause or you can use it as a phrase. So in the first example, our main idea is John Fish explained the complex structure of DNA. So as you can see, the second sentence, who is a research chemist, is being turned into a non-restrictive adjective clause. So you might be wondering, why is this non-restrictive? Because John Fish is a very clear name. It is a proper noun. Even without this adjective clause, we know who you are talking about, right? So for number 2, while he lectured, he showed us a slide. The slide diagrammed the double helix structure of DNA. So we know the slide is modifying a slide from before. And the main idea is he showed us a slide. Right? So I want to again change the second sentence into an adjective clause. And since this is a thing, we should decide whether we want to use which or that. So let me type my independent clause first. While he lectured, he showed us a slide. Now, a slide is a common noun. There are a lot of different slides. So if I make it non-restrictive, I wouldn't know which slide I'm talking about. So I have to use that, making it restrictive or essential. That diagrammed the double helix structure of DNA. And that is the sentence. So this is not the focus of today's lesson, but you can see in this complex sentence, we actually have 2 dependent clauses. The first one with the subordinator while, this is actually our adverbial clause. All right. So adverbial clauses, I think that's in chapter 13. Okay. Now, looking at number 3. Words in English are often difficult for foreigners to pronounce. They. So what is the they referring to? They begin with the consonants TH. Well, the they is referring to words in English, right? So I have to place it right after words in English. And since this is a thing, I have to use which or that again. So let me type it out first. Words in English, I'm going to use which or that, begin with the consonants TH, are often difficult for foreigners to pronounce. So in this case, should I use restrictive or non-restrictive? If you choose to use which, it means all English words are hard to pronounce, but that is not true, right? B, B, P, P, D, D. These are easy to pronounce words. So we are restricting to words that start with consonants TH. And that is why I have to use that, restrictive, and with no commas. All right, and that is it.